May the force be with you is a phrase used to wish a person well to overcome a challenge. The invitation in this podcast, May the life force be with you, is to explore what it means to truly feel alive, to appreciate the physical, emotional and spiritual connection to our energy, and finally to understand how this impacts who you are and all that you do. May this conversation inspire you to thrive. This episode of May the Life Force Be With You is brought to you by Moment Company and the Moment Pebble. The Moment Pebble is a beautiful, natural stone, light-guided breathing device and is a unique gift for someone who needs that gentle reminder to stop and take a break, to take moments throughout their busy day and to practice mindfulness. Just head over to momentcompany.co, that's momentcompany.co, and enter the code LIFEFORCE at checkout to receive an exclusive 10% podcast discount.
Hello.
Welcome to May the Life Force Be With You. I'm Fiona.
I'm Karila. How are you, Fiona?
I'm good this morning, thanks. I'm still in Australia over here. I've just had a wonderful concoction, inspired by our guest that we have just previously recorded. I'm not quite sure what order this will come out in, but Valentina. And she was fasting when we spoke to her, and she was drinking cacao and nootropics. So I magically, from the bottom of the cupboard last night, found some ceremonial cacao, and I had some mushroom blend. So I have made myself a cacao mushroom mix this morning. So I'm feeling pretty good right now. So thank you, Valentina. You know, this podcast gives you practical, real life and immediate advice that you can take into your day to improve your life force. So that has topped up my life force this morning. So there you go.
That's lovely. It also makes me laugh because actually what I want to talk about involves cacao and mushrooms.
Oh, really?
So it's really funny. It's really funny that you brought them in to the beginning of this call.
I must
Can
have
you
known.
believe that? You're like, we want to speak now.
There will be no confusion as to what the topic of conversation is today. We're going to make fee. I've never made this before in my entire life. I even made it on a Turkish coffee maker, so it kind of like frothed and bubbled up. I've never tried that before. Something just took me over this morning. So, Karila, tell me.
You bought. I mean, this is the power of mushrooms, eh? Like they create pathways, don't they? And so if they want to come on a podcast, and actually they are.
It actually came up in my coaching call I've just had as well.
Really?
Mushrooms came up. Yeah.
See, they want to be on May the Life Force. But we have some mushroom people coming on soon, actually.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Is it wrong if I say I want some for my birthday?
Well, I'm going to say that, like, the mushrooms. I mean, the story I have is about psilocybin. So we're going to go there.
Let's go there.
Let's go there. Oh, so it was a birthday. Well, it was a birthday.
Really?
It wasn't my birthday though, it was my friend's birthday. Should we start? Should I go?
Yeah, tell me about your experience that you wanted to share.
So basically, as you know, I've just got back from Egypt. For round 2, I went back to Egypt. I went to Star Hub, this time for a holiday. And my friend came out for her birthday halfway through the trip. And she works with cacao and mushrooms. And so she bought with her, I mean, she's got more balls than me. She bought with her mushroom chocolate. She bought with her mushroom cacao. For which she kind of is like, we can have it on my birthday or we can have it at some point. And, you know, I'm quite fussy about medicines, and I was like, I don't know, I'm going to feel in. And I tuned in, and then I got this like really powerful download about what the mushrooms were going to do.
And this was before.
This was before taking any. This was when I was just deciding if I should take the mushrooms. And so I got this like really strong. A download is like a super fast message, yeah, that comes at like this. It comes all at once at the speed of light, pretty much.
And does it come to you as you're kind of sitting in meditation? Does it come to you at sleep? Does it come to you at rest? Does it just knock you off your feet when you're Marks and Spencer? Like, how does it come to you?
It depends. It's a type of channeling. So it's a particular type of channeling that when my guides teach channeling, they're like, how they describe it is like most channeling comes one word at a time in the same way that we speak. A download's like getting the whole book.
Okay.
So you get all of the information at once, you know? It's like getting an email, I guess, as opposed to a telephone call. And so, and in this case, I'd actually asked. So I'd asked about if I should take. So you can get a download spontaneously, but I'd asked if I should be taking the mushroom. And basically this download was, you know, it was Pisces new moon. We're in Egypt. Egypt is the end of a massive journey. Like I'm about to move out of my flat. Pisces new moon is all completion and new beginnings. My flat has been this whole cocoon process since 2020, where I have like journeyed through all sorts of particular heart and attachment trauma. And the download's like, yeah, this is the final piece, the like final piece of the puzzle. It is the mushroom's last gift to you, your name, your path, and you'll meditate them. And what it's for is requited love. And so I know. And so I'm like tuning in to what that means. And what I'd understood is that, you know, a lot of what my heart's been going through. So if anybody's listened to previous podcasts, particularly Tickling the Frog, I went through this crazy attachment journey, which you heard about when we were doing that episode. And that journey was like several years of really meeting all of these different attachment wounds within myself and unhealthy wounds, but they were wounds that were all about defense in a way, you know, like all of that was about me protecting myself from being vulnerable. And then what happens is Cambo strips that from me. And then I go into experience a new level of vulnerability in my heart. And of course, my heart opens to something that's unrequited. And I meet the like pain and the trauma that is underneath all of that stuff. And so in the last like few months, I've been going through that. And then this word requited comes in. And what I see in this download is that, you know, all of this noise in my heart, all of this noise in my relationship field, all of this emotional roller coaster is because I don't really know how to have requited love. And what was shown, it was really beautiful in the download. It was shown like unrequited love is like love, like an island or a little spot of love in a sea of separation consciousness, you know? And I was like, that's going on in part of me, in part of my system. And what I was told was that the mushrooms, which are these like pathway makers, are going to like build bridges and pathways to this island and reconnect my heart. And so I was like, this is amazing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I was like, definitely taking this medicine.
We don't often say requited love, do we? We always say the other way around.
Yeah.
Phrase that we ever say, because you would say that just is then love when it's
Yeah, but we never actually think. So
there's a balance between the giving and receiving in that
you're so right.
Yeah.
You're so right, because then, of course, so we've also been having in Egypt all these conversations about the imbalance, about everybody there was talking more about how they give more than they receive, just like you've just clocked it, in their paths, in their abundance, in their life. Like, and so I look up the root meaning of requited.
Oh, I was hoping you'd done that.
And it means to be paid back. It means to be paid.
Ooh.
Like, it means to be given to.
Interesting.
And so then I'm like, oh, this is so much bigger than just romantically.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel like that connects to a lot of the conversations we've been having with our guests around money manifestation with Lara. There's just something about life force as well. It's just bigger than money, and it's bigger than love.
Yeah. It's like being able to be requited, you know, which, like you say, we never speak about.
No.
We never speak about it. And so then I'm like losing my shit. Because I'm like, I'm in Egypt in like my new favorite place. I'm going to be taking these mushrooms on the eve of the Pisces moon. They're going to requite my love. And like when I work with mushrooms or any medicine, they like start working with me energetically a couple of days before. Yeah. So then I'm like going to this like ecstatic dance event in the garden, and I'm like high on mushroom energy, even though I haven't taken any mushrooms, and like, you know, super excited about the ceremony the next day. And we go to the most beautiful place. We go to a wadi, and a wadi is a like desert valley in the mountains. So like we're alone with one Bedouin guide who knows that we're doing mushrooms and is there to hold space and build fire for us. There's like four amazing women there. It's just beautiful, you know. And the mountains are amazing, and it's like the quiet that is so full of energy, and yeah, and there's crystals in the mountains. It's just an amazing place. We set intention, and the person that bought the mushroom chocolate, the mushroom cacao, it was like, last time I had this particular batch, it was really, really strong. And so we're all like, okay, we're going to take a little bit, because nobody wants to go nuts. You know, we're stuck in the mountains. Take a little bit, go on this amazing walk. And yeah, it's just beautiful. Everything about it is beautiful. But then nothing happens. So the like cacao, chocolate, mushrooms basically don't work. And we say to my friend who's a shaman, like, not working. And she's like, oh, you probably didn't take enough, so take more. And
that old chestnut.
Yeah. And you know, like, that's dangerous, right? Like I've done enough parties in the past to know what happens when you like take nothing and then take more. But like, you know, we do. And so we take more. And then literally another hour passes, nothing has happened. And so she's like, take more. And like time is just going on and nothing, like when I say, so one person's getting a little bit, my friend who's a shaman is getting quite a lot. She took quite a lot more. me and the other person, me and the other friend are not getting anything. And it's becoming like that, like you say, that old chestnut of like, just take more.
Next thing you know, you can't move for a week.
And so like we're taking more, like by this point the sun's gone down. Like, and it's not working. And so basically after several hours, the shaman's like, you know what, sometimes the medicine just doesn't work. Like sometimes it's just not for you. And I'm like, I don't understand, because I had such a big download about this. And like, you know, I was getting high at the ecstatic dance of the energy, and like now nothing is
You're
happening.
deflated.
Nothing is, I wasn't deflated. I was just like, I need to channel about this. Like, I don't understand why I would get that message and be like this sober. My shaman friend was like, just drop in and see what happens if you go into silence. And so I went into the silence and I listened, and without tripping, just through channeling, I connected to the mushrooms. And the mushrooms were like, we're not going to do this for you. Like, they were like, you are going to open up your heart to requited love, but the land isn't going to do it for you. The spirits are not going to do it for you. And we're not going to do it for you. You have to do this for you. So I'm like, what? Do you know what I mean? And then I'm like, okay.
Not what I ordered. Thank you very much. What else to do it for? I mean, this sounds like way too much work now. It sounds like my entire life.
Yeah, that's what I went into. I went into this, like, you know me so well. I went into this thing of like, that is so not fair. Like, I was like, that is not what I was promised. And then the mushrooms were like, yeah, but like, you give your power away when someone opens your heart, and it's because you don't know how to open this part of your heart properly, and you say like you have to do it for yourself. And so then I went into then I was like, okay, I've got to clear this then, or sit with this then. And so like I sat around the fire and just like let the feelings calm, and let the tears calm, and let what needed to come up calm. And the thing is, you know, this wadi, which there was so much goddess energy, it was so feminine, and the valley itself looked like a yoni, you know? And so I was like, actually, I'm going to stop sitting around the fire, and I'm going to go and be with that like massive symbol of the feminine that is about receiving. And I'm going to like try and get some instruction, because where I'd got to was I was like, I don't actually know how to do requited love. Like I was like, I don't know how. So how am I going to open these mushrooms that aren't working? Like, and so I like literally just sat there and was like, okay, I'm gonna try and open this section of my heart, and I'm gonna like try the mechanics of it, you know. And as I was opening it, like more tears were coming, more ancestral pain was coming, more feminine shadow was coming, and I was just like, this was nuts. You know, my happy mushroom trip of it's not what I thought I was gonna be doing. And then it opened. So like I went through the layers, and this part of my heart that is requited, that is able to do requited love, opened. And then I was like beyond high. So like as that happened, I went into a state that, like, I've had many multidimensional experiences. It was like beyond.
Wow.
It was like there was this stream of energy moving through my heart, and it was going outwards. And at first I was like, whoa, this feels like more giving. Like, this doesn't feel like the requited receiving. But then when I connected to it felt so soft. And what I realized was, like, even though there was this sensation of energy going outwards, there was energy coming in simultaneously. So, like, it wasn't like exchanging, it wasn't giving and then receiving. It was like the
It all
giving was happening and the receiving was happening at the same time. Like, the receiving was the giving and the giving was the receiving. It was like this simultaneousness that, like, it was so soft and it was so vast. It was like my heart was feeling all of the beauty of the stars and the fire and the mountain and everything, and was receiving all of that beauty and giving into it at the same time. And then I was like, maybe the mushrooms have worked and I'm really high now.
That's exactly what I was thinking right now. Like, sounds like you were pretty high.
Check this out. So then I was like, okay, I think I'm really high. I'm going to go back. But, like, no visuals, no normal
No,
high. So I was like, I'm going to go back to the fire. Now I'm high. As soon as I got back to the fire, I was sober again. Like, completely. And, like, not in a I'm fucked way. And I think I was. So I sat around the fire for a bit and then I was like, I'm going back there to the valley to see what happens. And again, I went into more tears, more release, more of this activation of requited, and then went back to the fire sober again. And this happened several times. Eventually, I got my friend to come and hold space for me because I was just like, I cannot. Like, I feel like I'm tripping out in another dimension. And like, this needs to embody. And so, and after 4 rounds or something of this, I was just like, I know this is done. I can feel this is now in my heart, this new way of requited love. I know how to do it and I know the energy mechanics of it and I know it. And then I was, just round the fire, having conversations normal. And it was like, why it was such a precious lesson was because, I'm not saying that the medicine didn't work, because medicine gives you what you need. And what I needed was to be able to do that by myself. And what I understood was that, especially in matters of the heart, but I think with everything we seek, we have this thing of, like, wanting the universe to give it to us, or wanting somebody else to give it to us, and requited. It felt like requited could only happen if you do it for yourself. It's like your ability to open up to simultaneous giving and receiving, and to being paid
Back, the payback.
to being paid back to the reverb of what you give. And it's like,
oh, I like that, the reverb of
the
what you
reverb of what you give. It's like the requited experience that I felt like I've never felt before was because of my willingness to open to it, not because of the land, of the spirits, of the medicine, of the people, of like, it was completely down to my ability to open in that way.
But there's something really powerful in that, Karila, which it's not what people want to hear. Sorry, warning, alert. For the real deep work, there is only one way to do it, and that is yourself. And that is through that sometimes acceptance and letting go and allowing that change to be recognized, because in so many different parts of our day-to-day lives, there's an expectation, you can take a pill, you can do this course, you can, do all of these things and it will magically change. But if it doesn't truly come from a place of truth for yourself, the change doesn't happen. It's superficial. It's a badging exercise, and it can be painful, as you experience. You were releasing a lot of tears and releasing a lot of things in that time. And it didn't just happen once. Okay, It was in one evening, but you revisited that and you knew you had to go back and you were called to go back and go deeper. And then also have someone come hold space for you. So you had a very shortened experience about what a lot of us do over a longer period of time with our day-to-day issues. But that expectation that someone, something, a pill, a drug, a course, a person can fix it for you, I think is where we kind of get lost sometime in the kind of self-help messaging. The space holding is really important. Awareness, being held in those times, being open and curious as to how you can do it. Sometimes we need a little bit of guidance. Sometimes we need a little bit of help. But that deep, deep core thing that needs unlocked, almost 100% of the time, you have to do it yourself. That's what I'm hearing from your story.
And to be requited for requitedness. Like, and it's like I understand what requitedness is now on an energy level. I've been letting my heart do it in conversation, in moments on the plane home. Like I've just been practicing.
I'm just going to ask you, how do you integrate this now? Because we've talked about this in previous episodes. It's all very well and good having that, a profound experience, a breakthrough, a moment, a thought, a realization. But how do you then integrate this beautiful realization?
Like I've been practicing having that sensation.
Is it a physical awareness?
It's a energetic physical sensation, and opening in that way. And it is a sensation of allowing the reverb to be part of the experience of giving. And what's amazing about it in terms of life force energy is this is so energizing to my heart. And so my heart isn't going into a bust and boom state, which is what happens energetically when we exchange. So when we give our power away, which is what you've just described, which is like, this medicine is going to fix me, this teacher is going to fix me, this person is going to fix me. What you get, and I'm understanding this even more now, is the unrequited, because you're moving from love to that emptiness, to love, to the emptiness, to love, to the emptiness. And requited love is like a self-generating love. And I'm like, we as humans have to practice that, because the new earth is a two-way flow earth.
Yeah.
like we have to get better at self-generating and then sustaining our hearts.
What I feel for that though is that it truly is self-generating, in the other version, unrequited, is when you're just giving it all out, and also potentially taking on other people's life force energy. So if you think that something or someone fixes you, you're absorbing their version of what's right for you and not yourself. So it's only with that requited I get that sense of that self-generating, because it comes from yourself. You don't have to rely on anybody else. It's pure because it's yours, and it's the reverb, and it's not mashed up with anything else coming from the outside. It's a pure reverb coming back to you, and
It's
so therefore,
pure reverb. Yeah,
it's good, isn't it?
it's so good, isn't it? And I was like, and I feel like the mushrooms are like, whenever I don't work with mushrooms very often, but I'm like, mushrooms are genius, man. Like, because they're like, yeah, we're going to create the pathway, even if it's about us not giving you the opposite of what you expect. And we're going to prove that we're going to create that pathway, and that it was us creating that pathway by turning up at the beginning of your podcast each day.
I mean, I'm still kind of blown away that I had cacao and mushrooms this morning, which I've never had before.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just mind blowing.
I love that teasing, that playfulness, but that you will listen, right? Because we're just gonna keep coming at you till you pay attention.
And you get what you need, not what you want. And what you need gets you what you want. And I mean, that's also why, and I think here's the disclaimer moment. That's why it is really important that if you're taking medicine, it's aligned.
Yeah.
And for me, why it's so important to tune in beforehand and understand, like, had I not done that tune in and got that download, I wouldn't like a download gives you everything you need. So it also gave me the medicine, the healing, the ancestral insight, everything that I needed to be able to cry within the body.
But there's a life lesson in that as well, right? The tuning in. Things can pass you by if you don't. And that is every moment that you're alive and breathing and walking around, because sometimes you don't need the medicine, as you say, to realize that. But that curiosity, that asking the questions, that's looking for the signs, that's like, but and for people that are like, oh, you guys are talking crazy stuff today, that can literally be like, what's my gut telling me? That is a form of channeling. That is a form of intuition. That is a form of power that you have, where you go, you know what, this just doesn't feel right. Can't put my finger on it, but listen to that and go, so therefore I'm going to take some action that does feel right. And it can just be those tiny little glimmers, those tiny little moments that kind of add up. But how often do we also say to ourselves, I should have listened to myself in that moment, because I did something I didn't want to do, and there was a consequence. And there's all these micro moments throughout the day. You don't need to microdose daily to kind of feel those micro moments. We have that power within to kind of have that realization and recognition for ourselves. So, that's the start of it. That's the start of just that little bit of trust in yourself, that requited trust in yourself, that, you know what, I don't think I want to do that, or I'm really called to read this book, walk down this street, call this person, do nothing.
Follow this flow.
Yeah, not go to this party, go to this party, like, have a cup of tea, whatever it is that feels like a micro decision. There's a reason for that. And just lean in and listen and trust, because you don't know, as you didn't, in your larger kind of, felt experience, what that can lead to. And I feel that really strongly in the, um, that using that trust and that
Absolutely.
reverb. Listen to the reverb.
And also, if you're going to reverb, if you're going to go the way of reverb, what's the quality of what you're giving giving out? Because that's going to reverb right back into you. Like if you are going to be
Toxic,
inviting your love to reverb, then make sure that that love is really present and is really true and is really, is really of high quality, of what you want to requite back into you.
And what I'd say is, the more that you recognize that, the more you're going to feel when it's not right.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to feel that, oh, I don't like what just came back there. Oh, what did I put out? Like, maybe that's a little simple check-in that we can all do when something doesn't feel good and you think, what's the flip? What's the other side of this coin? What is my, because I think what we tend to do, and it comes back to that outsourcing of being fixed, is that we don't tend to reflect on our side of the energy that we're putting out. We're very quick. All of us are very quick to say, well, this happened to me. This is what I got back. This is what I keep getting. This keeps happening to me. Very rarely do we take that first reaction of, what did I put out there first?
Oh my God, as you're speaking, I'm like, unrequited is you putting your separation consciousness out into the world and it reverbing right back at you. Like, that's what it is you putting your separation consciousness into the field and it reverbing right back at you, because actually we're always requited.
Yeah. Whew. That's a good one, Karila. That's got my mind thinking. So I'm going to just quickly share with you, because I'm doing something this afternoon in Byron Bay, where maybe I should test this out, where I'm doing quantum light therapy this afternoon. So I guess using another form of stimulant that isn't plant medicine, but it's light and sound therapy, which puts you into deep meditative state. And, you can ask questions and you can kind of explore in the same way you did through your mushroom cacao experience. So let's report back and see what that difference of this kind of therapy work versus plant-based can result in. Kind of
What
curious.
are you going
I knew you
to
were going to say that. I don't know. I don't know that.
What's your intention going to be? What are you
I'm
going
going to
to
say,
reverb?
well, I will let you know once I get there, because I'm going to sit with that a little bit this morning. There's kind of a lot going on in my head. So I want to kind of think about that before I get there, but I will obviously share, as we do, warts and all.
What's and all? We absolutely do.
Here it all is, guys. So I will report back on something new that I've never tried before, which I'm very much looking forward to. The fact it's in Byron as well, it's just such
I
a great
cannot
place
wait to hear about this.
So yeah, but thank you so much for sharing that today. Wow, that really, we took some twists and turns, as we always do, that I wasn't expecting, but there's that very powerful, the reverb message.
The reverb.
Loud and
The
clear.
requited reverb.
There you go. There we go. We got there in the end.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me share this. It was an amazing new moon in Pisces experience.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. May the life force be with you, Karila, as it reverbs around the world.
May the reverb be with you all. We hope this conversation has topped up your life force energy. If it has, then please help us spread the life force. Like, share, subscribe, all of that. And may the life force be with all of us.